It's crazy to think when everyone wakes up in the morning, something different is going on. Different routines, different ways we commute to school or work, where we live, the environment. Overall, we have two things in common. We are born and we die. It's a process of life. But we are here to talk about a teacher in our school on how she lives her life.
I was born in 1984 in Indianapolis. My mom was in college at the time, and she actually had to drop out. So my parents had me like very young, and I was the first child. And so I guess like growing up, I stayed in their small town, and I watched my mom like go back to school. And so that was kind of cool. Sometimes I would go to classes with her, and she took a mythology class, and I remember going there and thinking how much I loved learning about these stories. And I was the only kid in this college class, but it was fun to go. And my dad worked really hard. He sometimes worked odd hours, so they struggled really bad at first. I think it was difficult for them to raise a child. But they did a good job, and they had my brother 2 years later, so I have a younger brother. We stayed in that small town, and my I was always very close with my grandparents because they helped take care of me because my parents were young, and they were working and going to school. So I spent a lot of time with grandma and grandpa on both sides. I decided to let my first job, my real job, be in Vietnam. So I got a teaching license. Like I stayed a year later, which was fine because I wanted to go to school forever. I stayed a year later. I got a teaching license, and I went to Vietnam. I got on a plane by myself. It was crazy now that I think about it. I found a job alone. I lived with a family. I didn't go with a company or anything. I just hopped on a plane and met this family and lived with them, and it was insane.
Vietnam is not where it stops. Ms. Ryan has also been to Ghana and Africa to explore new schools and get familiar with Africa's beautiful continent.
It changed a complete perspective on life, but also it made me want to help. And so I did. I came home. I worked with exchange students coming from that part of the world, particularly Muslim students that were coming here trying to adapt to a new sense of life. Obviously, my life was affected by 9/11, and Muslims have got sort of a bad rap kind of thrown into this category, and I wanted to help change that and give them a good experience and help change something. So Vietnam really gave me that perspective. And so I still do that. I'm here now. My parents, they still live in the same small town, and my brother's still around, and he's doing his thing, and I have the best memories with my family. It was a wonderful experience. They did everything they could for me, and the reason I've got the experiences I have are because of them. And that's sort of where I am. I now live in Bargersville, not far from my family, and I still talk to my students from Vietnam. I still work with students of all religions, all cultures, all ethnicities from all over the world, and I help them integrate here and then go home and work with their countries to better their countries. And then I get to also educate kids here, which is super cool, and also learn from them. I feel like I'm always staying on my toes, and you guys are all keeping me in line, and like I know what's cool, because I'm here. So I love it. It's awesome. And yeah, that's my life.